Well, we can't doubt the courage of the Eastern Suburbs team. They've really taken the initiative, and still their fullback is off the field, and right in the first half, after about 10 minutes of play, 15 minutes it was, Dinnerton was sent off the field.
Yes.
5 forwards to 8.
They're battling, but they're doing it like men too.
And Dawson.
Once again, Johnson grabbed hold of him after the whistle had blown. Grabbed hold of him and crawled all over him. They're usually pretty tolerant boys.
Here they come again, but who's there? It's Handley, the 5'8". Out here to the Dawsons again. Now who's onto this loose ball? Eastern Suburbs putting on a tremendous performance here. In fact, if you didn't know the scores, you would say Eastern Suburbs was the better team.
Yes, they're battling manfully. My word, they're putting up a great job. But the odds are right against them. Particularly, it wouldn't be so bad if they had the points on the board. But University have the points on the board, and they've just got to keep Eastern Suburbs out. University player here, Ruin it was. Caught in the middle of those rucks. They're not the place for small fellows. They're tough.
Hickman, half back to his forwards to Dawson. He's dragged over the line. Try. Great try. Well, you must pay that a tremendous try, and I think it was only sheer courage that put Chris Dawson over the line. A magnificent effort by Eastern Suburbs. 2 men down, and yet they've forced their way right through a sustained period of pressure. They've been there for about 5 or 10 minutes. Let's watch from the scrum of the action replay, and you'll see it's Hickman first of all, and Dawson, Chris Dawson, number 6, actually tears himself across the line. Now there he is. He just charges over. A great effort by him. It makes it 19 points to 12. Cox is going to take the shot at goal, and this puts Eastern Suburbs right back in the game, because over on the far side of the field, Haig is back on his feet. Haig's running back onto the field. He's having a test now, but here's the important kick. 2 more points, yes. It's now 19-14, only a converted try between these two teams. Well, Eastern Suburbs have given Haig's back on the field. He's coming on. So Eastern Suburbs back to 14 men, and that was one of the best exhibitions I've ever seen watching football with 13 players.
Wonderful courage. It evokes the admiration of even the casual observer. And those Eastern Suburbs fellows over there on the sideline are really crazy. They're gone crazy.
And breaking away against Peter Criddle. And Criddle, well, he'll remember this game. Peter Criddle, who earlier this year was down with hepatitis. They gave him little hope of coming back. Well, he's come right back into the game, and he's being a real inspiration to the Eastern Suburbs team. Back at number 8, and the Eastern Suburbs crowd on the far side really going for them now. They're cheering all the way. Criddle wins the line out. Well, the ball loose. There's going to be a scrum, I'd say. The advantage rule being played at the moment to Taylor. And it looks like beautiful tackle. Craig trying for it, but it's play on. Referee's allowed it to go. And it's Taylor, his kick across the far side to Cox. And a knock on, and here's Haig. Now, surely we must see a scrum for one of the knock-ons. Yes, it's going to be a scrum about 10 yards out from the Eastern Suburbs 25. 7 minutes to go, and Eastern Suburbs not out of this game.
5 points of difference.
Haig again. And a good effort by him. Yes, he's found touch right up on halfway. And down is Johnson, the University number 8 forward. He's down with Haig there. Johnson's on the ground. Well, he might be just tired, I think. There's nothing more than that.
He twisted the knee there as he tried to follow Haig. Haig picked up the ball and ran round him. Just twisted the knee, apparently. But this is a magnificent effort by Eastern Suburbs.
Rosenblum along the back line of Winchester. Carter, Smoker's in. Here's Smoker, and Smoker with Taylor outside. Taylor's getting through the gap, and Smoker once more. I don't follow that kick, but here's Haig. Haig finding touch. And once again, one of the University players, it looks like the centre, Carter, limping very badly at outside centre, but it's play on. Back to McLean. Who's onto this ball first? This is important. Dawson. And players limping. And here they come on the blind side. Hickman's kick is up towards halfway. And Smoker caught here by Cox, is still in play, or Stone rather. 15 yards inside the University half. Eastern Suburbs must be a chance, as long as they don't kick the ball, I'd say. That time I don't see the point of kicking.
They get it and use it. They've still got a chance, notwithstanding the tremendous odds against them.
Whittle standing at number 8. Out to Winchester. Winchester caught the defence right on top of him. Eastern Suburbs chasing this ball. And Carter, who can hardly walk now. Foreman gets the bounce. Foreman's dangerous here. Foreman, beautiful runner. And a great run by Foreman. A magnificent try. He goes for the line and Foreman's over. Magnificent football. 22-14, and there was the try by Terry Foreman. We haven't seen much of him all day, but he is the most likely footballer when things open out like that. Now here's the replay. We're going to see it. There goes Foreman away, racing down the line, stands. The fullback still gets round him. Too fast for the front row forward. That's Fay chasing him, and Foreman, who hasn't shown his real form a couple of years ago, we would rate him as Australia's best winger. 4 minutes to go, and Haig, the fullback, is flattened out attempting that tackle. He really couldn't make it, and Foreman, with that capacity he has to stand a man still and go round him, has taken the score to 22-14. Rosenbloom to take the shot, and once again Haig is over on the sideline, flat out with an injury.
Rosenbloom, not a lot of distance, taking it inside the 25, a very acute angle for him, and on the wrong side of the field for his left foot kick.
He's made it.
Magnificent kick from that side.
Rosenbloom taking the score now to 24-14, only about 3 minutes to go, and Haig off the field. He valiant attempt to make that tackle of Foreman. He's back on the sideline again, so it's unlikely we'll see any more of the Eastern Suburbs fullback on the field for the remainder of this match. The Eastern Suburbs may lose the match, but they haven't lost any friends as far as football courage is concerned.
It's been a wonderful performance by them.
On the blind side, and who's first to the ball? It's Taylor. Another Eastern Suburbs man stretched out, and a penalty here to Eastern Suburbs, but Miller, the inside centre for Eastern Suburbs, taking a long time. He's back on his feet. Little point in taking a shot at goal, I'd say, with only a few seconds left. They're going to tap and run. Hickman to the front row of Bailey, back to Fahey. Again a penalty, Eastern Suburbs. And back on the far side of the field, a stretch has been brought on for the fullback Haig, and he'll be leaving the field. So Haig leaving the field, play on, and here's Handley back to his forwards to Cray. Now Hickman, Cray again, they're inside the 25. Well, a hand came out from nowhere with a university sleeve on it. So. Scrum just outside the university 25.
Smoker up in the three-quarter line.
Handley, blind wing from comes Cox. And there's Rosenbloom with the ball on the toe. This is danger for Eastern Suburbs. There's McLean, but they overrunning the ball. Now Dawson, that's Chris Dawson, the two Dawson boys are there. Here's Paul Dawson, and over the top he goes. Players running here from sheer memory. Now Winchester to Foreman. And in touch on the full and down on, and over on this side of the halfway line, one Eastern Suburbs man stretched right out, hasn't moved. Only a couple of minutes to go, and on the far side we saw the two Dawson twins. They must have been only playing from memory. They fell over each other.
Yes, a valiant effort by East. There's no two ways about it. University in command, points on the board, and the advantage of that extra forward. Give them control of the game, but one cannot help but admire the tenacity and the great spirit of Eastern Suburbs. They've played right throughout here, and they have just played themselves to a standstill.
Well, that's Miller, the injured man, here, the centre, and further across the field we have Laurie Fay, the front row forward, who's also down. Miller, Peter Criddle there, number 4, of course, and the 9, the halfback Hickman.
Well, the end of the game is obviously in sight. University 24-14, and there's only a few seconds to tick off when it's all boiled down. But they've really played a man-sized game of rugby. The tactical approach has been astray on occasions. They should have attacked when they were kicking, but it's terribly hard to change your mind after you've been doing that the whole season and worked into a typical groove of rugby.
Winchester. Now Carter. Play about 10 yards inside the University half. And there's the full-time siren, so the match is all over. Sydney University has won the 1970 Premiership. This will be their 20th Premiership since the start of rugby union in Sydney back in 1900. University have won more Premierships than any other team. 24-14, Sydney University the winners and Premiers for 1970. For University, Taylor scored 2 tries, McLean 1, Foreman 1. Rosenbloom 3 conversions, 1 field goal. Smoker a field goal. For Eastern Suburbs, Dawson a try, Cray a try, Cox 1 conversion, 2 penalty goals. 24-14 Sydney University. There they are, and here's Cyril Towers.
Well, that ends the 1970 rugby season in Sydney, and it ended on a tremendous note. It was an enormous display of sheer courage by Eastern Suburbs, with adversity operating against them right from the first 10 minutes of the game when they continued with 14 men and 14 men only. It wasn't alone the loss of the man, except that the rearrangement of their forwards ate into the real vitals of their football. Their back row was paramount in their feature of rugby, and to disorganise this by shifting Dawson into the second row was to more or less cut their legs from underneath them. A good game by University. They stuck to their guns and they played reasonably well. They could have played better. I thought in the second half they were inclined to sit on their lead, but a wonderful display of courage by Eastern Suburbs, and it's hard to say that University is the better side. They had all the advantages with them and they made good use of them. Eastern Suburbs on the other side, a wonderful display of courage and much to be admired for the way they stuck to their guns.
Those final comments on the season by Cyril Towers. I might mention that the ABC has been televising rugby union since the early days, since 1957, so that ends our 14th straight season of direct telecasts of rugby union from Sydney. And in fact, that's our 14th grand final. I think that's one of the best we've seen. So repeating the score, Sydney University 24, Eastern Suburbs 14, Sydney University the Premiers, and it's goodbye from the Sydney Sports Ground.